Hi, this is just a quick shout out to all of our supporters to celebrate amaBhungane's 14th birthday. We're a feisty teenager at the moment. I think next year is going to be hopefully a bit of a big deal, but we thought we'd mark the 14th because we survived last year, which was pretty tough, and we're still standing. amaBhungane grew out of the investigative unit at the Mail and Guardian, which was led by my colleague Stefan Brimmer and I. In around 2008, we started talking about leaving a legacy, growing the investigative capacity at the Mail and Guardian, but also promoting investigative journalism more broadly in the country, and offering something also to our colleagues that might be more lasting. And it took us a while to get all our ducks in a row, but the company was registered in 2009, and we wrote the first story under the amaB byline in March 2010. Okay, at the time that we were thinking about setting up amaBhungane, it was at the time when there was this huge campaign, which was successful, to get rid of the scorpions. The scorpions had this very scary big red scorpion logo. They had these big black cars. We had nothing like that. So we understood we couldn't call ourselves something as intimidating as the scorpions or the hawks, because we were small. Maybe we were feisty, maybe we punched above our weight, but we were nothing like that. So we were looking around for something else that maybe expressed who we are and what we do, and we came upon the dung beetle, which digs the dirt and fertilizes democracy, fertilizes the felt, and in our case hopefully we fertilize democracy. And so we decided we're the dung beetles, and we wanted to kind of embrace our African heritage, and so we decided to call ourselves amaBhungane. The first story we did was in fact about all the president's men. It was about President Zuma and his family and friends, and their business interests, and it was called Zuma Inc. You can still go and find it. And at that stage, it was interesting. Obviously, we all knew about Sheikh then, but the Guptas featured already in 2010. But at that stage, we didn't know how important they were. They were one of a number of families and individuals and businesses connected with the president and his entourage. There were kind of a number of stages. When we started out, we were part of the Mail and Guardian. We set up a separate company. We were independent financially, but they were our publisher, and we had a very close working relationship with them. Then in around 2016, I think it was, we decided to go out on our own and become totally independent of the Mail and Guardian. We lost the partial funding that they provided, so we had to fill that with crowdfunding. And that was scary because we had to set up all our own infrastructure to manage what is a small company. Then along came the Gupta leaks, and we had already done quite a lot of work on the Guptas, so we were well placed to kind of make the most of those leaks. But it was also good because it put us on the map nationally, from being this part of the Mail and Guardian to being a kind of national entity that a lot of people know and recognize. Okay, so the Gupta leaks was pretty unique because, you know, the leaks didn't come to us, they went to the Daily Maverick first. And they, you know, in a very responsible and kind of adult manner, recognized that they didn't have the capacity at that stage to deal with such a big story, such a big investigation, that it was bigger than, you know, any one journalist or even any one publisher. So they came to us for help. And we worked on that together. We pulled in other people from offshore, the News 24, also later kind of applied to become part of that team. amaBhungane didn't do all the work, but we were quite important in terms of coordinating priorities, bringing to bear the kind of intellectual property we had on the Guptas, and you know, I think doing some quality control as well, assisting other journalists. But it was really a team effort where quite a big, broad part of the media came together to really deliver that story to the country and for the country. So the media environment is much worse than when we started, just in terms of the commercial and political pressures on the media. We still have a fantastic constitution, we still have fantastic support for a free media and freedom of expression from the courts. amaBhungane, you know, has also changed. It's you know, it's the Gupta leaks is and was kind of a once in a lifetime journalistic event, and you have to regain that momentum, find new targets. That's also more difficult now, you know, in the era of state capture, when there were kind of a few identifiable key players. I think the targets were easier to identify, and they were real targets. They had real influence. You know, they had captured parts of the state, not only the Guptas, but, you know, the people around former President Zuma, etc., and he himself, for factional and personal gain. Now that situation has, you know, it's grown like a cancer. It's spread. It's gone, you know, up and down the body politic. It's fragmented. So there's no longer a clear, easy target. The problems are now systemic, and, you know, exposing one corruption story or one corrupt politician is no longer going to have the potential impact that it might have had 10 years ago. We're in bigger trouble now than we were, and that makes reporting on that more difficult. You have to think carefully about what are the strategic issues, what are the things that we actually have the capacity to tackle, and, you know, how can we make an impact. That's one of the reasons why we started to look at money laundering, because we have huge swathes of organized crime now, of one kind or another, operating in this country, and one of the key ways in which that is enabled is via money laundering. And so in the last couple of years we've tried to focus on that, and that hopefully that's going to have an impact. It's been such a long time, and there's so much that's happened. It's hard to remember these things, and others may, you know, want to chip in with things. But obviously, the Gupta leaks was a high point and a low point. You know, it started out as a low point. We were scooped on our own scoop. The leaks were leaked unbeknown to us, or part of them, to the Sunday Times and City Press. Whilst the whistleblowers were still in the country, we were busy with trying to secure their safety, and then suddenly there was a story, and we had to suddenly catch up, both in terms of really trying to secure the whistleblowers and in terms of trying to get on top of the story. I think we managed that, but that was a hugely impactful and exciting time. We've had a number of kind of court victories that have been important. The last year, just the one that comes to mind because it's most immediate, in relation to the Moti Group, which managed to temporarily gag us and launched an application which essentially would have forced us to reveal sources and disgorge information that had been leaked to us, and we won a very resounding victory in the High Court, which I think also kind of set a standard and a baseline that is going to protect journalists who are doing the same thing as us, protect the integrity of source, anonymity and protection, and the right to make use of leaked material in the public interest.